Vetting so and the day na vetting no ade say afenyo markings wakyere sampa NPP amanyoko no yi ni say minority leader no nya de say ombenu omho da no mu no omo so da atofo sen na che say oba for finance minister ai ne omo toto na no hwe ne kratam ni ade a na no ana atofo sen de obi anim say ne afenyo markings ebe krokro no be so no so ni ade na expose bi akoso wo vetting ni mu no enya sem ketwa I just say, paying for and what drew a mamma, the amity be crowned, said John Dramani Mahama Tigan, on a crown who drew no effort the finance minister, and they were persuaded about home. Then you know, at two forcing, and I say, at two forcing once and some making. Now, after your markings, not just say, what be a beside you now, swam a friend near be. Now, we only say this time around, a month for about NDC Abaso or more in term, no more quantum. Now, at two forcing, sorry, to just say omo enya you know first 120 days no levy is our tax omo kan you know ombetwam but we shouldn't forget say before say yeba vetting we no na omo di nka kan to for say di nka say bet kra na we be ye free Ghana akra but call vetting committee no so oh no the tax and then a man for just onyan trono na onka no kure wom na Ghana fo na say the vetting committee no enhwe na so ombe clear na number disqualify no motimi aye. Now, so some amount for said now NDC because of our number into almost also our vetting committee. So, in which way no bet me I disqualify Ubia John Dramani Mahama, you know, no so yes, some Abuja, you have caught Nancy from Yanko dear Coswangasa.
Lack of transparency. But for the records, Honorable Yabama is here. He chaired the committee. You may recall. But as a result of those concerns, government at the time was able to meet those concerns to the extent that there was even a waiver on one item, raw materials. In fact, let me say not waiver, the raw materials component was taken out of the raw exemption. And true scrutiny, the request was very much reduced. We didn't say that it was purely political because those concerns were addressed. But you still said no. Mr. Chairman, I have no regrets for saying no. I have no regret in the sense that when these taxes were introduced, tax exemptions were introduced to us in this House, initially, we were called upon to present approximately $458 million. Upon my insistence, the Minister of Finance went back to working together with the Minister for Trade and brought it down to about $100 million. So straight away, I saved the nation approximately $400 million, about $358 million, obviously because of my insistence. I still felt there was the need for us to do more. And that $100 million, I could still see things that I disagree. As Mr. Chairman, I have no regrets, and I think I did what was right for Ghana and for all of us. Because clearly, it wasn't right for us to grant some of those tax exemptions. I wasn't alone. Colleagues from the Finance Committee agreed with me, and together we fought it. And obviously, I did not champion this alone. Let me also use this platform to pay tribute to Honorable Kwati. Honorable Kwati was instrumental in the fight against this tax exemption because he agreed with me that these taxes were certainly not right and we were working for Ghana. And if we can save $558 million, look at Accra Kumasi Road. We could use that money to fix the Accra Kumasi Road. I think it wasn't necessary for us to approve that tax, and those concerned, it's not personal, it's not political, but we did it with the right intention, obviously for God and country. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's not a thing.
Suffice to state that we, the minority side, whilst observing the protocols and the practice of this House regarding how to treat our leaders, will ensure that we limit ourselves to policy matters since the finance minister designates. Although he's a leader, is going to manage the affairs of the state, and he is the most critical person in this whole enterprise. Now let me address some few concerns of the minority caucus on the notification of Parliament of the nominees. Before we openly examine the individuals and their merits, we must address a procedural mistake that casts a shadow on the integrity of this process. As you may recall, the Secretary to the President purported to have been given the mandate by the President to sign a letter to us. May I refer us to Order 65(1) of our rules, which provides that communication from the President to the House shall be to the Speaker in writing, signed by the President, or in the absence of the President, by the Vice President, or by a minister authorized by the President. So read from this letter from the Secretary to Parliament. So ab initio, President Mahama's government has breached the standing orders of this House. He failed to write directly to Parliament. He got his secretary to write to us.
The minority has cooperated with Chairman for us to get here in good faith. The letter got to us in Parliament. An advert was done. We cooperated for the advert to be placed in the paper same day. We were supposed to start this voting tomorrow. Chairman reached out to me regarding some exigencies. I convinced my side that there is a need for the new government to proceed to form a government. The president needs his team, so let us not obstruct, let's cooperate. I still have communications asking the leader, why are you changing from Tuesday to Monday? I am here to do the people's work with my team. This posture of attack on me, colleagues, Chairman, with the greatest respect, I will not take it anymore. Even my opening remarks had to receive interjections and point of order. When go and watch Babi as minority leader, his opening remarks, let's watch the videos. Let's watch how we do it. Guys, I don't want situation where to be like, King wants to do this and that. I understand governance. I know governance. And I will support you to form your government. But nobody should make an attempt to use some attacks to frustrate. It will work. And we are not going to boycott proceedings. As Honorable Governor Abuja once said on the floor, even laying paper, even for him to oppose, he says that there will be chaos. That was his threat. We know what he did to my vice chair. He also brought back, I will never do that. I'm not party. I know what they did to this 67-year-old woman who was then the chair of the appointment committee, our mother. We know what happened. The cabinet lodged it. So, colleagues, you are now in government. Your duty is tolerance. Tolerance. If you don't want to tolerate us and you don't want to accommodate and you are talking about rules, then we also go by the rules strictly. I will end here. Chairman, thank you. And thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable Minority Leader. The presidents are there. We all know that Honorable Joseph was there also, sitting as the chairman of the appointment committee. We never welcome a question from one member of the committee. I am using my discretion to allow a non-member to ask a question. I am asking you to ask a question, and to ask a question does not give you room to ask supplementary question before the main question. It's an abuse of the opportunity being given to you. When you proceed and ask your question. Chairman, wait. No, wait. Chairman, with the greatest respect. I know you are an advocate, you do a lot of cross-examination. You cannot raise your voice on a member. He is a first timer. when he makes a mistake, let's correct him in a manner that would encourage him to enjoy Parliament. He is a new member. Please, with the greatest, I know it was not your intention, but normally when you get your client in a tight corner, how you deal with it? I beg you, this is not your client. Mr. Chairman, member asked the question. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. But first of all, I did not even make a mistake in the first place. That's for the records. I did seek you go ahead and answer the question. Please. It wasn't approved, but I proceed to my substantive. That's all, Mr. Chairman. And thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for the clarity. And I will proceed. Honorable Nominee, I would like to refer you to a publication on the 15th of March 2021. And I want to paraphrase because I don't want to miss anywhere. And I quote, Ghana today, we are complaining that this gambling is destroying our youth. I've read a number of articles on this, but I thought that the government will come out with a policy to restrict gambling and to even ban it, he said. And this was a quotation attributed to you, Honorable Nominee. I want to ask and proceed on this. Do you still stand by this position of banning gambling and banning betting and all that in its entirety, or now your position has changed? That's what I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think it's a very good question and it's an opportunity for me to clarify. Mr. Chairman, I was on a show with the Honorable Kodo and the contest must come out. The Honorable Kodo at the time Minister for Information, I'm sure, had the responsibility to sell government policy on betting. And he said, I'm surprised when I read that portion. He said that betting tax is being implemented because it is destroying our youth, and that the government is introducing this betting tax he said the government is introducing this betting tax to deter them, equivalent to a sin tax, so that they will not be staking the bet. I retorted on a show being hosted by Evans Mensah on Joy FM PMS News. I retorted by saying that will not solve the problem. That will not solve the problem because I've read a number of articles, and the article presupposes or suggests that it is destroying our youth. And so if you want to introduce a tax, you have to first look at the elasticities, and as to whether the elasticities will mean that imposing such a tax will prevent the individual or the people concerned from the staking of the VAT of the betting or not. But I doubt that will. And so if you intend doing that, the best option is to ban it and not to introduce a tax. And I said the tax will not solve the problem. Here we are today, I've been vindicated. Has the tax solved the problem as intended by the government? Ignore. I insist that tax must be abolished. And as Minister of Finance, my first budget, I will abolish the betting tax. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We don't do that in Parliament. We say we are here. The next person is Honorable Mama. I thought somebody was my friend, and I was given an opportunity to ask a question. And she started heckling me even before I've asked the question. Congratulations, my leader. My real question was to ask you how prepared you are to deal with the multitude of economic challenges confronting Ghana. But after listening to you within these few minutes, I thought it wise to abandon the question. Because even before asking, you have made a case demonstrating your readiness and preparedness to confront the problems of Ghana with great expertise and finesse than we have seen in the past. So I have a few questions focusing on what my brother and former majority leader and non-majority leader raised in his thesis that I read before we started. It's very beautiful. Thesis of one member continues. Proceed. Number one, will you abolish the levy?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, my position on the levy is well known. I do not intend to run from it. I've written articles against the levy. I champion opposition against the levy. I still stand by them. The Chairman, the levy is neither a direct tax, indirect tax, or an excise tax. I don't know how to classify the levy as a tax practitioner. The Chairman, it doesn't mean that I do not recognize that the levy brings in certain revenue. But the fact remains that the levy retards our progress towards a cash-light economy and the fintech.